This conference will now be recorded.
So now we're discussing about remaining OOPS concept. So last weekend we discussed till this classes. Okay. So these concepts we have done in last weekend. So these remaining concepts we need to discuss now. So let me discuss on this. So I will wow you what we have discussed. So first of all, we discussed about why we need OOPS, nothing but why we require exactly object-oriented programming languages. So we have discussed four types of programming languages. So unstructured programming language, structured programming language, object-oriented programming language, and finally aspect-oriented programming language, right? And each and every programming language, if you observe unstructured, we're having a, we're having some limitations and as well as disadvantages. So that is the reason we're going for object-oriented. And finally, we have concluded that object-oriented, what is exactly object-oriented and object-oriented features, what is exactly class, what is the difference between class and object, class object encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, message passing. These all these things we have defined. Okay, and then we have discussing about containers in Java. So namely class, abstract class, and interface. So now here within this class, so first of all we discussed about what is the exact syntax for creating a class, and within this syntax each and everything, what is a class and what about this extends, implements. Okay, what about this implements and extends, and we have discussed some various scenarios. But suppose if you're defining some if you want to implement extends and implements keyword at the same time within a class or within the class syntax, right? So how can we implement? And we have discussed about access modifiers, which access modifiers are possible, which access modifiers are not possible, and some information related to inner classes. These all these things we have discussed, and finally we have concluded so many scenarios. So which one is valid and invalid? Okay, these things we have discussed in last weekend. So let us discuss on this abstract classes as well. Abstract classes. Abstract classes are Java classes which will allow both concrete methods and abstract methods. So in Java applications, for abstract classes, we are able to declare reference variables. Okay, and we are create unable to create objects. Okay, so once if we define a class as an abstract, and within this abstract class we have defined some abstract methods and as well as a concrete methods. So now let us assume if you want to access these members. Okay, generally if you want to access members of a class, we are creating an object, right? But here whenever if you are trying to create an object for abstract class, we are unable to create an object. Even if you're trying to create, you're going to get some compile time error. These all compile time errors we'll discuss once if this abstract class theory part is done. So we'll go with this practical part. Okay, what are the errors? So that is the reason here we are able to create only reference variables for an abstract class. Once if we created a reference variable for an abstract class, By using that reference variable, we are able to access abstract class members. Okay. So if we want to use abstract classes in Java applications, then we have to use the following steps. Declare an abstract class by using abstract keyword. Declare concrete methods and abstract methods as per the application requirement. As per the application requirement, declare a subclass for the abstract class. Create a or declare a subclass for the abstract class. Implement all the abstract methods of abstract class. At the subclass, if we violate this rule, we are going to get compile time errors. Okay, so these things, each and everything, we'll discuss practically as well on today.
This conference will now be recorded.
So in main class, in main method, declare reference variable either for abstract class or for subclass, but we must create an object for subclass. So now access the abstract class members. Note, if we declare reference variable for abstract class, then we are able to access only abstract class members. So if we declare a reference variable for subclass, then we are able to access both abstract class members and subclass members. Okay, so this point we discussed. Okay, this point we discussed whenever we are discussing with basic programming skills, not as a theory part. Okay, theory part will now only we discuss. Okay, so let us go with some example on this.
This conference will now be recorded.
So now if you observe while discussing about basic programming skills, or even if you observe in this theory part, so clearly I have mentioned you. So abstract classes are having two members. One is concrete methods and one more thing is an abstract methods, right? So this is nothing but which you know already. These are nothing but abstract methods. So this thing is nothing but a concrete methods. Okay, concrete methods is having some implementation, but we don't have any body or any implementation for abstract methods. So just it will be defined like this. Okay. So now here what I have done is just I have created a subclass for this abstract class by using a extends keyword. I mean nothing but we're using this inheritance concept here. Class B extends B. So here out of these three methods, first of all, which methods are, which methods don't have any body or implementation is nothing but abstract methods, right? Each and every abstract methods we need to provide the respective implementation in class B, nothing but void m2, void m3. So like this we need to provide the necessary implementation for each and every abstract method of abstract class in class B. Okay, and I have provided a one more method, that is nothing but a M4 method. So which is if you observe, we don't have any method with the name as M4. So now here I have defined some void M1. So even though if you are defining void M1 here within the class B, what will be happen? We will discuss later. Okay, we are having a one concept called as a method overriding. So if you are providing the same method name with different body, that constitutes nothing but a method of overriding. So even though if you are even though if you are trying to provide a wide M1 method within this class B also, so that concept is entirely different. Currently, we no need to require that respective concept. I will discuss that concept later. So these things, this is nothing but a abstract class and followed by, class B. Okay, so now here I have created one more class, nothing but test one. Within this class, compulsory we need to define a main method. Without main method, we are able to execute the program. Okay, Java programming point of view. So now here, let us go with some scenarios. So which I have already explained in the previous classes. So now assume that we're having abstract class name is A. So and I have one more class called as a class B. So now if you're going with case one, which we discussed, so a some small a is equal to new a. Whenever I'm trying to create an object for abstract class, so what is the error we're going to get? Nothing but a is an abstract class. A is an abstract class and can't be initialized. This is the error, right? So first of all, try to create an object for abstract class. So just I'm creating like this. A some small is equal to new a. So this file already we're having within this Java programs. So try to open command prompt. So now here we're having two phases which we discussed already. So first phase is a compilation phase and one more thing is an execution phase. So how can we do compilation phase here? Nothing but Java C. So out of these three classes, if you observe, we're having abstract class with the name as class A, class B, and class test. So out of these three classes, so which class So we need to do compilation or we need to do execution is, so whichever the class, which class is having a main method out of these three classes. So which class is having a main method, or we need to identify a class which is having a main method. Out of these three classes, if you observe, test one is having a main method. So that is the reason. So while doing while doing compilation execution phase, we need to mention this class name. Okay, means like this, test one dot java. See here, if you observe, what happened? Okay, it is copying. So if you observe here, A is abstract, can't be instantiated. A is abstract, can't be initialized or instantiated. Here, instantiated means we are unable to create an object for abstract class. Okay, so nothing but case one is not possible. Now try to create a reference variable for an abstract class. Means like this, A some A1. Just we are creating a reference variable. So we have concluded in basic programming skills is, so creating a reference variable for an abstract class is possible, but whenever if you are trying to access members of an abstract class by using this reference variable, we are able to get some compile time error, right? Nothing but a1 dot something I'm accessing as a m1 method. So whenever I'm trying to access, so we're going to get error as a1 might not have been initialized. Okay, so try to comment this one, try to uncomment. So creating a reference variable is possible, right? So here we did not get any error. I mean, creating a reference variable is possible, but by using this reference variable, if you are trying to access, okay, by using this reference variable, if you are trying to access members of an abstract class, then we're going to get an error. So here variable a1 might not have been initialized. This is a respect to compile time error what we are having. Okay, so what is the conclusion from these two cases? Creating an object for abstract class is not possible, that thing is clear. But if you are creating a reference variable, creating a reference variable is possible, but by using that reference variable, if you are trying to access members of an abstract class, so definitely you want to get compile time error. Okay, so this thing and as well as this thing. So now how to create a reference variable? So that is nothing but a case 3. Case 3. So nothing but a some a2 and followed by new p. Means we are creating a reference variable for abstract class, but we are creating an object for class p. Okay, so like this. Observe here. Fine. But by using this A2, by using this A2 reference variable, so which members can we access here? We are able to access only abstract class members, right? So nothing but A2 dot M1 and A2 dot M2 and A2 dot M3. Okay, A2 dot M3. So these are the methods of an abstract class. Here we're having three methods. One is M1, M2, and M3. So by using this abstract class reference variable, we are we are trying to access these methods of an abstract class. Okay, so now here finally Java test. See here, this is the respective output. For suppose now by using this abstract class reference variable, okay, now I'm trying to access class B members. Okay, so if you observe the case 3, we are able to access only abstract class members. But by using that reference variable, if we are trying to access class B members, okay, so then we are going to get some compile time error. So that is, so see here, cannot find symbol, a2.m4, a2.m4. So where it is not finding symbol is, so if you observe a2 is a reference variable of which class? Nothing but class A, means abstract class. Within that abstract class, it is not finding m4 as a method. That is the meaning of error cannot find symbol. Okay, what is the symbol here? Method m4. Location variable a2 of type A. So if you observe the of type A is nothing but a abstract class. Within that abstract class, so it was unable to find a method called as an m4. Okay, that is the how we can analyze this error. So like this. So first of all, error cannot find symbol. So symbol related error is going to display here. What is exactly symbol? Nothing but method m4 variable a2 of type A. Nothing but it is an abstract class. Okay, so comment this one and go with case 4. Try to create a reference variable and as well as an object for case 4. Nothing but b some small p is equal to new p. Just we are creating a reference variable and as well as an object for which class here? Subclass. Okay. Now by using this small b, right, we are able to access abstract class members and as well as in class b members. So if you observe, try to do compilation and execution. So this is the final output. Okay. So is this concept, both this theory and practical are fine, all of you?
Sure, I have one question.
Yes.
So this abstract class is mainly used during the requirements gathering uh, phase where we just know the overview of the uh, project. So we just create the classes and methods, but we do not implement all those things.
I did not get you exactly. Requirements and
Uh,
the
I'm just
information means what you
uh,
mean to
re-
say.
where we use this abstract class.
Okay. So here, what are the so whenever if you are developing initial project, okay, whatever the development is going on, which is going to start initially. So first of all, we need to get a complete information or complete knowledge about what is what. We need to get a complete analysis of the requirements. Okay, that thing is different. and this abstract class concept is different. Okay, so if you observe this, for suppose as a user, if I am developing some Java application as a developer, just I'm developing some Java web application. So first of all, I need to get a clarity. So what is going on? I mean, functionality point of view, what is going on? I need to check it. Okay, based upon that, I need to create a methods. Based upon the functionality, I need to create a methods. So nothing but here we need to create an abstract methods. Generally in real time, they will not create any abstract methods. Basically, they will create an interfaces. Okay, so why they are creating interfaces when compared to abstract processes? Only reason is if you observe this difference between this interface and abstract. So interface is having, I mean, abstract class they're having a concrete methods, but this concept we don't have in abstract classes. Sorry, but this concept is we don't have in interfaces. So what I mean to say is interface will provide 100% abstraction when compared to normal abstract classes. So abstract classes it is also providing the abstraction concept, but here they're having a one more concept called the concrete methods. That is the reason 100% abstraction it is not provided. So that is the reason we need to go for, I mean, we need to go for these interfaces, and in real time, always they're using these interface concepts more when compared to abstract classes. Still, they're using abstract classes as well, but interface are more. And one more thing is why we are where we are using this concept exactly interface. For suppose, just assume that my requirement or my functionality is I want to connect a database from Java web application. It can be MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server. So what this organization, I mean MySQL, SQL Server or Oracle, so they will not provide logic to us. Okay, so if you're going with a third party organization or if you want to use some third party APIs for different vendors, they will not provide any API or logic, whatever the logic in which they have implemented. So they will tell to us, so if you want to get a connection from MySQL, just try to call this method. That's it. Means they will define these methods as an abstract methods. So where we are unable to see the implementation or where we are able to see the logic, what are the logic in which they are going to provide. Okay, so once if I call this method connect, so first of all, I need to implement that respective class, what are the class in which they have provided. So just assume that my interface name is first implements some, they have provided some class name as a MySQL connect, something, some name. Okay, so and try to create an object and try to call that respective methods. So this is the exact use case where we are exactly using this interfaces concept. This is the one way. So we can use n number of ways. Is it fine, Abdul?
Yeah, it is clear now. Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
What is the difference between concrete clause and abstract clauses? Concrete clause is a normal Java class. It will hello 0 or more number of concrete methods. Okay, abstract class is a Java class. It will allow zero or more number of concrete methods. In Java application for classes, only both reference variables and objects for abstract classes we are able to create only reference variables, but we are unable to create an object. To declare concrete clauses, it is not required to use any keyword separately. To declare abstract clauses, we must use abstract keyword explicitly. Concrete clauses will provide shareability. Abstract clauses will provide more shareability. Okay, these are the points which comes under concrete class, just in a normal class, how we are defining normal classes and abstract classes. These are the some couple of differences. Okay, so next concept is nothing but interface. So interface is a Java container. It able to allow only abstract methods. Means we are able to create only abstract methods. So it will not allow concrete methods. It will not allow concrete methods. Interface is a Java element. It can be utilized to declare or expose only service names in the form of abstract methods. It will not provide service implementations. So in Java applications, for the interfaces, we are able to create only difference variables. We are unable to create an objects, or we are unable to create an objects instead of an, we are unable to create an objects. So in case of interfaces, by default all the variables are public static final. So this is very important. So in case of interface, by default all the variables, for suppose generally we are not defining variables, okay, but even if you are defining a variable, for suppose if you are defining some int a equal to 10, right? So by default all the variables is having public static final. So even though if you are defining like this, int a is equal to 10, so by default it will take it as like this, public static final int a equal to 10. So like this is going to take it, okay. Even if you're defining simply as an int a equal to 10, by default it will take it as an public static final int a is equal to 10. In the case of interfaces, by default all the methods are public and abstract. In case of interfaces, by default all the methods are public plus abstract, okay. For suppose let us interface some a. So just I'm creating void one, void, okay. So class B implement C, something I had to find. I did not provide any implementation, okay. So class test for file something, public static void main string args. Yes, sum a is equal to just a quick note. Try to save it. And try to do compilation. Java C tester. Java C tester. Modify.java. Okay, these row polls I will explain you. Okay, no need to worry currently. Just I want to explain you one point. That is the reason. So now if you want to execute, you know already. Okay, we are not able to get any output because we are not calling the methods. So see you. So here we're having a one more predefined command, that is nothing but Java P. So nothing but if you want to know profile, if you want to know profile of any class or an interface, just we're having a predefined command called as a Java P. So once if you write this Java P followed by some interface name and class name, so it will provide the complete information about members of a class or members of an interface. So here I have defined some two methods, void M1 and M2. So maybe you are having some doubt. So here I have mentioned you that one point. So it able to allow only abstract methods, it will not allow concrete methods, right? So generally if you want to define an abstract methods, how can you define abstract methods here? So which one already, that is limited by using abstract keyword, but here nowhere I have defined this abstract keyword. Okay, what is the reason for not defining a keyword called as an abstract keyword? Okay, for these two methods, so reason is very simple. So if you observe this profile of interface, so by default these methods are public plus abstract. So even though if you're defining or not defining, so JVM itself, it is going to provide two more keywords, or it will append two more keywords for each and every method, whatever the method in which you are defining inside of an interface. The two keywords is nothing but a public plus abstract, and that this is the point. In case of an interface, by default, all the methods are public plus abstract. Okay, so that is the reason it is not showing any compile time error, even though if you are not defining abstract keyword, because by default these methods are public plus abstract. Okay, so is this point is clear, all of you? Is this point clear?